Menu narration option is set to off.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is Jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see Modesto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, dummy pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, let them keep us going.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. As we get a peek at Matt Ryan, a man who's been in the league since back in 2008.
It's Week 17, Brandon, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He's not going to win the MVP award. But that doesn't mean to me that he shouldn't get strong consideration. I think he's been terrific this year.
He has, and I think the highest praise came from the coaching staff, telling us that he's been more vital to our team than any other quarterback in the league. If your coaches are saying that, you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I actually heard from an opposing coach earlier this week where he said, look, he's not going to win it, but he should. He's been the best player we played against this season.
Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Ryan, short throw underneath to Hurst, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Ryan. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. Over 30 yards there. And first downs on 3 consecutive plays now. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. To throw again is Ryan. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. The first carry now. This is Williams. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
He had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting has taken over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Now Jones.
Let's go.
So here are the Bucs backed up to start their initial drive. And they're led out by a guy who's done just about everything you could ever imagine to do in this league, the great Tom Brady.
It's been a lot of fun watching him develop in his career. But that will to win, he's had that probably since birth, and it transmits itself throughout his entire ball club. Watching him play, it can be an absolute joy unless you're on the other team.
First carry for Carlos Hyde. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Okay, every now and then, my defensive bias will leak out here. Abysmal play for them. You've got them backed up, and you let them out.
Couldn't take advantage. And you know who's happy? The punter. Because if he was needed, they gave him a lot of space to work with now.
Yeah, because he would have had a lot to think about, right? Don't step over the back line and give him a safety. Now he's got room if he needed it.
Much more room to operate under after the big play. Here's 1st and 10. Now a run with Hyde. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That's 2 really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked in to what they're doing offensively, and now they've earned the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively, they're going to have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, isn't working. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Back onto the field comes the offense and Hayden Hurst. Unless he has a Julio Jones-type 300-yard game in him that Julio did against the Panthers in 2016, probably not going to reach 1,000, but still pretty good year.
I think you're right. It's a pretty good year for him, but let's face it, every receiver's dream is to have a game like Julio Jones had against the Carolina Panthers. It's 300 yards on the nose, and it didn't matter what coverage they sent his way. He solved it each and every time. Maybe our guy can get that way in this ballgame. Let's see.
To throw again on 2nd down. Ryan, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Ryan. That's into the hands of Pascal. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. 2nd quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now it's Ajayi. Now we're going to get a timeout. Here's we've got an injured Buccaneer. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. A give running right, it's high. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up.
The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Bucs have taken the lead.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And the magnitude of this game, everybody knows it. The fans, obviously the players and coaches, there's just with them a palpable buzz right now. They know they under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. 23 yards the pickup there. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the Buccaneer defense for the 2nd straight play, flexing its muscle by forcing a loss. 1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Here's Ryan to throw. A good throw here, finding Pascal. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. I'm sure as a coach, when you throw the flag, you hold your breath, then you get the verification you were right, a sigh of relief.
Not only a sigh of relief, a little vindication as well, because every time you pull that red flag and throw it, you could be costing your team a timeout.
62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And you can see it, as many of you know, they have clinched the NFC South, and as it stands, Charles, they would still need to host a game on Wild Card Weekend.
Remember the days when
Carlos Hyde, see you later. He's at the 50. And all the way down to the 42.
Let's go.
It's a big run there by Hyde. 54 yards. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
the best multitasker in the business, the coach.
They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 40-yard line.
On 2nd down, Hyde. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This from 44 yards out, left hash. So we've come upon. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. Now Jones.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
Let's go.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
They'll run it with Jones. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
On second down now, Hyde. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. Finding room at the 30. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones, 81 yards as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Credit the sack to Von Miller. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. Got some room at the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Williams looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. On 3rd down, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's how we do it,
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
So they wound up passing on a long field goal try, but that works out for them really well. That one's down inside the 5-yard line.
And it's risky because your punter, if he puts it in the end zone, the net result not worth it, but there, I think worth it. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And a nice pickup as this one gets him to the 10-yard line. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. Third down, Carlos Hyde. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th. They run again with Hyde on first. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
On 3rd down, Hyde. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. They'll run it with Jones. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Another tote for the afternoon workhorse. It's Hyde. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And Jones is not going to have the first down as they stop him short. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on fourth. The type of game that he's having running the football, there was no doubt who they were giving the ball to.
So why didn't they just go ahead and go after him on defense, right?
Yeah,
if you know,
on him.
right? You know he's having that type of a game. Who else would you expect to get the football? I would have taken my chances and sold out defensively to stop him. And if anyone else picks it up, I tip my cap to him.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Dante Fowler in on the stop. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. They run it again with Hyde. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Today's final score, Buccaneers